in this one.
Thank you. And Jordan, I'm happy that 10 of our game. I've had 10 games this weekend commentating NBL 1, the Australian Junior Championships, and also the Wildcard Series. So, yeah, we've been busy, but I think we're both happy that we can go home, and I've got to go home and do some housework.
Rest the voice box a little bit after what's been a big week of basketball. It's certainly a pleasure to bring it to you. We'll be back for the NBL 1 West on Kayo freebies this Friday night, so catch that one. The women's from 6:30, the men's from 8:30. Until then, on behalf of Jake Singleton and the production team, I'm Jordan Scudetta signing off. You've been watching the NBL 1 wildcard competition on Kayo Sports.
Officials once again, Vaughan Mabry, Michael Aylan and Ruben Woolcock. Game time at the Q. And the MVP in possession first up, Jalen Adams. Quiet in game one, didn't see a lot of him. Xavier Cook stripped. Ideal start for the Hawks. Cleveland from one end to the other with the opening bucket.
Perfect start on that end, so he's got to give Brian Gorgon what he wants. He's a crucial piece to this Hawks outfit. That is just a tough bucket from Vasiljevic. Stops on a dime.
A mismatch here. Cook's carried by Jessup. Gives it up for Jarrell Martin. Likes it from that spot.
Good pass. There's Luke Longley.
So shot clock rolls into single figures. Cooks rolls to the basket. Nice D from Jessup, but Cook stayed with it and scores.
Well, the contest, it's just a little too late. Catches it that deep. Maybe he might not finish the first one, but he's an elite offensive rebounder.
Tyler Harvey.
Into his little floater game rather than shoot a contested three or anything to start. And on this end, that's too easy. Xavier Cook's just getting to his spot. He's got 4 points, 4 rebounds already.
Pauls, give us the player's perspective when you read and hear that your coach labels the performances, Reith lays it up, when he calls you embarrassing.
That's the way they were playing earlier in the season, in terms of defensively, not really trying to be energetic, get up and in. Good takedown from Jalen Adams.
Had his struggles in game one, was 4 of 18 from the field. Jarrell Martin. Nicely done.
And that's just way too easy. Scoring early offense right now, way too often.
Those 2 clips I showed of transition in the second quarter, good knockdown there from Matan Mays. They just thought like the job was finished. Okay, we've stopped them scoring, and they fell asleep. They didn't put the fires out, and it was just too easy. Again there, yes, it's not.
Back-to-back scores from Jalen Adams, just cutting through the Illawarra defensive structure. Harvey's floater goes back to a 3-point.
The defensive end is where this game is going to be taking control of. They have to be, but have to help each other out. One-on-one, we know Cleveland is going to do his thing defensively. Good knockdown from Matan Mays, but you can't just rely on him.
3:27 left in the opening quarter. Ian Clark into the game for the first time. Cook's out for Maker. Throwing in stature every time we see him.
In the finals, and just look at this. Nice little pick and roll, and sets his feet. That's money from Maker. And again, injuries or whatever happened throughout the season gave.
The Hawks playing to tie it up or take the lead. Froling, little drop off for Cleveland. Swatted. And then Xavier Cooks.
Plays Santonius Cleveland the steal down one end, and then Xavier Cooks. Terrific rim protection.
What a night it was last night as well. We'll talk more about that at halftime. Reith turnaround jumper. Drops.
He's coming off a really good game one. Do what, breathe. 4 points already. And Tim Conrad checking into the game, Mr. 350.
Athletic from Xavier Cooks. The Kings have scored the last 4. That's where the lead sits right now. Matan Mays. Excellent.
Much needed bucket.
Gave it up, and Cleveland was there waiting for the pass coming in. Jessup might have had a foot on the line. It doesn't matter. It's in the bottom of the net regardless. And the Kings, the best first quarter team in the competition across the season. The Hawks won that opening quarter. Harvey knocks it down.
Big knockdown. Talk about Cooks having a big imprint in the first quarter. Tony's Cleveland had 4 steals.
Harvey almost came up with one for himself. Cool hand of the MVP. Having the better of this matchup with Swakala Bullock. That time, Illawarra get it back. Reith, such a beautiful shooter for a man of that size.
They ride the bumps of the early season troubles and 13 wins in a row, 10 in a row on the road.
Vasiljevic scores. I guess we shouldn't forget too, Liam, with this team that
As part of that front line has been huge.
He missed a huge chunk of the season after the Kings started to get things rolling as Jessup knocks down another. This is a big opportunity right now. Xavier Cook's having a quick spell. What can they do on this end to really try and slow him down?
that'll help.
We're going to have to try and stop that man now. They're going to trust their main guys to get it done.
Reith on the move.
And he's flowing early in this one.
This has been a great start of the second term for the Kings. For the Hawks, I should say. The Kings with some work to do. 2 more for Adams.
Well defended initially. Justinian Jessup being physical, kept his hands out, moved his feet, and give up an offensive rebound.
Adams and Harvey just going blow for blow at the moment. Here he is again, the MVP.
Little spot there to float a cut, let Adams turn the corner.
There's no stopping him. Jessup out for Reith. It's good.
Tough to guard. Duop Reith, pick and pop.
It was Sydney that did the damage in game 1 with a 30-9 second term, but it's the Hawks winning it here, and Duop Reith, big block. Jessup back down to Rattan Mays. He'll like his chances against Adams and scores.
That's his go-to move. It's not just a regular mid-range jumper.
They had 33 on the board at half-time in game 1. They've already got 45 with 3 minutes still remaining. Clark's runner no good. It fell back into his arms and scored.
He knows it's time for him to step up. Ball's going to be in his hands, and the Kings will play through Ian Clark.
Froling left open. Got it.
He owed him one. Harry Froling.
And now Jessup with 10. And a steal. Layup for Tyler Harvey. It's not the case now. Sydney have got some thinking to do. Antonius Cleveland swats it out of the air, and the layup at the other. Clark off target. Vodanovic out there after a DNP in game 1 of the series. Clark with the knockdown that time. It's a big challenge ahead of the Kings. Martin gets them started in the right fashion.
Well, if anyone can do it, it'll be this Sydney team, because they are...
Maybe that's what you'd rather live with, rather than a wide-open 3 in the corner. Xavier Cooks into double figure.
Cross court, Martin picked it off.
And they get a score here. A timeout could very well be coming.
Martin with the left hand.
On cue, here it comes. Brian Gorgon, not happy at all.
They do have a tendency, Illawarra, to have these little periods in games, Liam, where they just switch off ever so slightly. That'll be good for them.
Stabilising bucket.
Vasiljevic wanted a foul, nothing doing. There's Harvey pulling up for 3. 5 points in 60 seconds for the Hawks.
Run it down your throat one way. They get a miss. Just push in transition, get your shooters to spot up. Jalen Adams doing Jalen Adams things. Do we have a height measurement on Jalen Adams?
6 foot. Tyler Harvey's 6'4".
That's
just for reference.
That's a good knockdown from Duop Reith. 6 foot might be a bit generous.
Kicks out for Duop Reith. Nice closeout from Swakala Bullock. Forces a tough look. Duop Reith answers.
That's a big hit.
3 of 4 from outside for the big man. On the back of 5 made threes in game 1. Jalen Adams. Bang!
Oh, my.
Glover out for Martin. Yes!
Great offense from the King.
Rebound by Martin. Sydney within 3. Martin lost it, got it back.
Bank Arena, the fans are engaged, and rightly so. Both teams have brought the defensive effort in this second half, but it's the offense.
Well, that should have been a shot clock violation.
Oh, Harvey gets it in a little deeper with success.
Much better. You see Tyler Harvey, he was still thinking any time he can pull the trick.
That's why he's open. That's the shot the defense wants you to take.
Come on.
Ian Clark, a bomb. Xavier Cooks. Bruce gave it up for Vasiljevic. Good for great.
He's been quiet, just his first knockdown. Real danger period here.
Clever tip from Froling. Got it back to the advantage of Cleveland.
Get that physicality, shuffle your feet. That's a really good defensive effort from Jalen Adams on do or breathe as well.
Harvey steps inside and drains it.
Credit Sam Froling.
There's still a long way to go in this game. There's Froling. Unstoppable on the offensive glass. And helps himself to 2 of his own.
Big time play.
They sure are, Joe. Thank you.
What a block. Do or breathe. And here they go in transition. That's what the Hawks do. Defense to offense.
Adams dribbles through contact. No whistle. Long rebound out for Martin. He scores.
Nice touch.
Cooks has the size advantage over Jessup. Recognise that. Jessup, what an answer with the block. Here's Adams, all alone. You know the result.
It was 2 of 6 from outside, but as Liam mentioned, when he's putting some heat on the rim as Ian Clark tries to tee one up, and why not? 15 points on the night for him.
Adams and Martin, little 2-man game. Martin too big and too strong. The Hawks need a bucket. Rattan May's open in the corner. Drains it.
Big shot. It's not where his bread is buttered.
They lead this last quarter by 4. They lead the game by 6. Jessup falling away. Tip in from Froling.
It's their best offense.
It's cut back to 4 with 3 minutes left. Cooks helps himself to a couple. Inopportune time for that to happen if you're an Illawarra supporter. Rattan May steps into a 3-ball.
That's huge, Rattan May. The hook shot over the shoulder.
89-84, Duombree fires away.
Boy.
That's a great look. Pick and pop.
It's in single numbers now. Guarded by Jessup. Steps into the 3. He's next level.
50 seconds away from booking their spot in the grand final. That's going to count, and that's went in anyway. Kings fans are loving it, and so they should.
Big last quarter from Ian Clark. Xavier Cooks can finish it in style. They won 13 straight to get here. Now they've won 2 straight. Sweep the Hawks and book their spot in the NBL 22 Grand Final Series.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, you're gone. Get lost.
Mongo Nation, are you guys?
Mike and the Mad Dog.
At 43 years of age and 3 kids, enough already.
Anytime you're ready.
Okay. You've had a lot on your mind this season with all the conflict going on in Yugoslavia. Has that been difficult for you?
Yeah, it's been real difficult. I mean, civil war in Croatia, and you got to stay tough and do your job here and play the basketball and be on the phone every day to see, your friends, how they're doing, and my family is still over there.
Are you close with any of the other Yugoslavian players in the league?
I used to be very
the offensive end. We have Cotton on the likes of Foxwell. Wouldn't want to see Ammo maybe take
out because of COVID. So here is this young man stepping up. Charita Salanka was the one that was tried, but then selectors don't seem to be wanting to progress too much with him for the moment. The red ball format, that is, we got also the Fernando who played in that last game. Angelo Matthews as the COVID sub. So this tells you that the Sri Lankans have depth in their batting. That's really good. Now what they need to have is, now Prabhat Jayasuriya's emergence as a left-arm spinner also adds a little bit more depth to the Sri Lankan spin bowling, which they were looking for, which they didn't have. The dependency on Ambul Denia and Praveen Jayavikrama now temporarily shifted. 292 for 4.
A very nice over by Nathan Lyon, keeping the pressure on the youngster. He got to the task as well, Kaminda Mendis. He's defended really well. Quite sound technique against the off-spinner. Having Chandimal in the other end will be very helpful as Kaminda Mendis.
.292 for 4. Bit of a breather for the players. Some liquid too. It's quite hot, though we do have a stiff breeze. And humidity also should be quite high here.
And now it's time for Sunday Night with Matty Johns, brought to you by McDonald's. Liner too. Jordan Pereira has done himself great credit today. A very good all-round performance for Brisbane. Just his second game as a Bronco. Walters and Hetherington took a divot. So this to finish it right off. And if you're celebrating 30 years, what about Amanda Walters getting on the try sheet maybe?
Very, very good.
Sport inspires greatness. It creates enduring heroes. Legends delivering moments that reverberate through time.
That's how history is made.
But which Manchester United figures deserve the honour of the greatest Red Devils of all time?
I'm not here for vacation, or, as I told you before, was good to winning important things that I wore the shirt before many years ago, but I'm here to win again.
Ronaldo's back. The king is back.
There's really only one reason why Manchester United lured a 36-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo back to the club in 2021. It was to stop him going to Manchester City. The previous 10 years had been tough on United. Historically, not just the most powerful club in Manchester, but the biggest and most successful in all of England. Football's icon of the English-speaking world. Ronaldo, of course, had made his name at Old Trafford, arriving as an 18-year-old prodigy from Sporting Lisbon in 2003, leaving 6 seasons and 9 trophies later, already a legend of the game, on his way to even greater success at Real and Juve. The prospect of the enemy, Manchester City, stealing CR7 in his Premier League return, even on golden feet, not quite as swift as before, would have been too much for this proud club to bear. Especially with the anger of fans over the private ownership of the Glazer family already at boiling point. So United forked out a tick over $16 million to Juventus, paid Ronaldo at least double that, told Edinson Cavani he had to hand over his number 7 shirt, and sent their fan base into delirium. Especially when he scored the opening 2 goals in his Premier League return.
And he scored 2, and we won. And I love it. I love Ronaldo. I'm in love with him. And you too. I'm in love with them all.
As it turned out, season 2021-22 was another trophyless season for the Red Devils. But, for the record, Ronaldo offered hope and certainly played his role, scoring 18 goals in the Premier League and another 6 in the Champions League. Compared to 18 and 4 in his last season, the first time around 12 years earlier.
And of course, I'm so happy to be back home.
But even more importantly, beating City to his signature was a message to fans that the club had not lost its ability to attract the greatest players. Not lost its pride and determination to always go big, go hard, bite off more than they can chew, and start chewing. Manchester United has known days infinitely darker than just a few unsuccessful seasons, and has always found its way back. Their greatest teams, the equal of any teams through history.
England's record-breaking scorer, Bobby Charlton, is to break the stalemate. A high pass from Sadler, and Bobby's head snicks it home.
Manchester United was the first English team to win the European Cup. And the first to win 20 top-tier titles in the world's oldest football competition. It's a club defined by its dramatic theatre. Spectacular goals, last-minute comebacks, big-name players, a club of wealth and influence. And yet, the first players were railway men from the carriage and wagon department of the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Depot at Newton Heath. Formed in 1878, Newton Heath wore green and gold. The name and colours changed in 1902, and in 1910, the club moved to Old Trafford. After 2 First Division titles and an FA Cup win towards the end of that first decade, a long drought ensued, and during World War II, Old Trafford was bombed.
Manchester United kicked off against Everton.
But from its ashes rose a United dynasty with the 1945 appointment of manager Matt Busby. Under Busby, United won the 1948 FA Cup.
Villa had won the 7th FA Cup final.
And in 1952, the club's first league title in 41 years. But it was consecutive titles in 1956 and 57 that immortalised the Busby Babes.
In 25 minutes, they took the lead with a goal by Edwards.
A supreme physical specimen, Duncan Edwards made his United debut aged just 16 years and 185 days, making him then the youngest player ever to play in the top flight of English football.
14 stone a footballer, he shot it low like a cannonball. Terrific!
He was still a teenager when he debuted for England. A stellar career was guaranteed. Bobby Charlton was another prodigy. Not long in the first team, his powerful shooting with left or right foot had already marked him out for greatness. Charlton would go on to reach the highest of highs for club and country. Edwards would not. He was one of 8 players and 3 club officials among 23 killed when the charter flight taking the team home from their European Cup quarter-final against Red Star Belgrade crashed on takeoff in Munich on February 6, 1958.
As the news of the disaster became known, Britain was appalled.
English football was stricken with grief.
A bitter loss to the world of sports, one that will long be mourned.
Stories soon emerged of the heroism of goalkeeper Harry Gregg, one of the few to emerge unscathed from the burning wreckage.
Well, I was lucky I got out because my safety belt was broke and I cut out my hands and knees. Just as I got to the outside of the plane, I seen a few of the boys hanging about Peter here, and I called him to come back. I heard the kiddie crying and it brought me to his senses. I lifted the kiddie out and handed it to Peter. He took it away.
Bobby Charlton would be the first of the injured players to be released from hospital. But Busby remained in hospital for more than 2 months and was so seriously injured
Everything that was important to me was simply scoring. Simply scoring.
Fantastic competitor. He was a fantastic competitor.
Klinsmann! If I didn't score, even if we won the game, I was still very upset.
He's a legend. Proper legend. Played always with total commitment.
Being a driving force on the field is the most fun you can have.
He's a legend. Proper legend. Fantastic competitor.
Simply scoring. Simply scoring.
Oh, that's top class. Jürgen gave his best in every single game.
Everything that was important to me was simply scoring. For me, it was just being a sponge.
We like to learn all the time. And that's always fantastic for a coach to work with.
Every chapter in my playing days was a type of a university. Every coach I had taught me something different.
He was a traveler. He was an adventurer.
I try to understand where my weaknesses were and how to fix them.
He always became a better football player. That shows an exceptional intelligence.
You are obliged to suck up everything you can, just to be that sponge. It all started in a small little town in Germany. Coming out of the baker family, my dad basically worked 14, 16-hour shifts every day. He said, you finish off your baker diploma. If something happens and you get badly injured, you can go back and have something. I wanted to make sure that I don't have to have that life, so I finished it off. And then I pursued only football from that moment on.
The youngster's clear appetite for goals signalled his escape from the bakery.
When the Stuttgarter Kickers, a second division club at that time, came and said, we want you to sign a pre-contract for once you come out of the youth system, that's when I understood, oh, wow, you really, could play professionally. My first big move from the Stuttgarter Kickers second division team to VfB Stuttgart, the first division team that won the championship, was very easy for me because I still stayed at home. And I was just a local kid. In Stuttgart, the former Dutch international Arie Haan almost won the World Cup in '74 and '78. Had a huge impact on me. He really saw something in me, and he gave me great advice.
We do an exercise, shooting on the goal. And you run with the ball to the goal, and you try to pass the goalkeeper. And Jurgen shot always the time from outside the 16. There was no opponent, was nothing. So in
That wasn't me. You wouldn't have thought so now, given my limitations.